What if I told you there's a language so beautiful, so perfect, that it can express every emotion, every thought, and every truth? A language so divine that it bridges every gap, every culture, every time period. In heaven, we will communicate in a way that's beyond anything you've ever experienced. No language barriers, no miscommunication, only perfect understanding. But how? Will we speak the languages we know now? Will we need translators? Or is there a heavenly language, a tongue that transcends words altogether? The Bible gives us glimpses of this mystery. From the tongues of angels in 1 Corinthians 13:1 to the vision of every tribe, nation, and language, worshiping together in Revelation 7-9-10, Scripture reveals truths that are both awe-inspiring and deeply personal. And here's the promise. By the end of this video, you'll see heaven in a way that could change your entire outlook on life forever. So, if you've ever wondered how we'll communicate in eternity, or long to know how you'll understand your loved ones across languages, stay with me. Let's uncover the language of heaven together. Does heaven have its own language? The Apostle Paul gives us an intriguing hint in 1 Corinthians 13:1, where he writes, "If I speak in the tongues of men and of angels, but do not have love, I am only a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal." The tongues of angels. What does that mean? Is there truly a heavenly language, distinct from the tongues we know on earth? Let's start with a common question. Does this mean angels have their own secret language? It's a fascinating thought, isn't it? You might imagine angels speaking in a way that's incomprehensible to humans, a divine code reserved only for heavenly beings. But here's the truth. The tongues of angels aren't about exclusivity. They're about intimacy. Angels, as messengers of God, communicate not just with words, but with meaning and power. Their language is pure. It carries no deceit, no confusion, no misunderstanding. Every word carries the weight of God's truth and glory. Now imagine this. In heaven, you'll be able to understand that language. You won't need to study it. You won't need to practice. It will come naturally, as if it were always a part of you. Because in heaven, our minds and hearts will be transformed. We'll no longer be limited by the imperfections of this world. 1 Corinthians 13:12 reminds us, "For now we see only a reflection as in a mirror, then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part, then I shall know fully, even as I am fully known." This means that in heaven, you won't just hear the language of angels, you'll understand it completely. Imagine hearing an angel's voice for the first time. It's not just a sound, it's a symphony. It's as if every word is alive, resonating with truth, love, and the very presence of God. And here's the best part. You'll join in. You'll speak the same heavenly language, not as an outsider, but as a beloved child of God. But what about the languages we speak now? Will they disappear? Or is there a place for them in heaven? Stay with me, because the answer might surprise you. Have you ever wondered, will we all speak the same language in heaven, or will we each speak our own? It's a powerful question, especially if you've ever lost a loved one who spoke a different language. You might wonder, how will I understand them in eternity? The Bible gives us a beautiful picture of this in Revelation 7-9-10, where John writes, "After this I looked, and there before me was a great multitude that no one could count, from every nation, tribe, people, and language, standing before the throne and before the Lamb. They were wearing white robes and were holding palm branches in their hands, and they cried out in a loud voice, 'Salvation belongs to our God, who sits on the throne, and to the Lamb.'" Did you catch that? Every nation, every tribe, every language. In heaven, diversity isn't erased. It's celebrated. Imagine standing in a vast crowd, surrounded by people from every corner of history, ancient cultures, modern nations, and even tribes you've never heard of. You hear them singing, shouting, worshiping, and yet there's no confusion. You understand every word. How is that possible? Here's the key. In heaven, communication isn't limited to words. It's heart to heart, thought to thought. On earth, language can be a barrier, but in heaven, it becomes a bridge. Imagine hearing a believer from centuries ago, someone who spoke a language you've never learned, and instantly understanding their heart as if it were your own. Imagine meeting someone from the other side of the world, someone you would have never been able to speak to on earth, and feeling an instant connection, an instant unity. This is the power of heaven's language. It's not about erasing our differences. It's about bringing them together in perfect harmony. One of the most fascinating glimpses into heaven's language comes from near-death experiences. Many people who've had these experiences describe a kind of communication that's unlike anything on earth. They talk about thought-to-thought communication, a way of understanding that doesn't rely on words, but on direct connection. Imagine this. You're standing before someone, maybe an angel, maybe a loved one, and before they even speak, you already know what they're saying. It's not telepathy. It's something deeper. It's complete understanding. In heaven, there's no need for explanations. No need for clarifications. Every thought, every feeling, every truth is perfectly understood. And here's what's truly beautiful. This instant understanding doesn't just apply to words. It applies to emotions. Have you ever struggled to explain how you feel? Have you ever wished someone could truly understand your heart? In heaven, they will. You'll never feel misunderstood. You'll never have to wonder if someone truly gets you. Because in heaven, communication isn't just about language. It's about love. And this love, this perfect understanding, is what makes heaven, heaven. Did you know that Jesus himself spoke multiple languages during his time on earth? The Gospels tell us that Jesus likely spoke Aramaic, the common language of the Jewish people in his region. He also spoke Hebrew, especially when reading from the scriptures in the synagogue. And he may have even spoken Greek, the language of commerce and learning in the Roman world. But why does this matter? It shows us something profound, that God is not limited by language. Throughout his ministry, Jesus spoke to people from different cultures and backgrounds. He communicated with Roman centurions, Samaritan women, and Jewish scholars. And no matter the audience, his words always carried the same power, the same truth, the same love. Now imagine this. If Jesus could bridge language barriers on earth, how much more will he do so in heaven? In heaven, you won't need to worry about learning new languages. Jesus himself will be the bridge. His words will resonate with every soul, no matter their background. And here's the beautiful part. Just as Jesus met people where they were on earth, he will meet you where you are in heaven. Whether you speak English, Spanish, Mandarin, or Swahili, you'll feel fully known, fully understood, and fully loved. But there's something even more amazing about the way we'll communicate in heaven. Let's explore the sound of heaven's language. What will the language of heaven sound like? Will it be like the languages we know on earth? Will it be music? Or will it be something beyond words altogether? The Bible gives us glimpses of this mystery. In Revelation 14:2, John writes, "And I heard a sound from heaven like the roar of rushing waters and like a loud peal of thunder. The sound I heard was like that of harpists playing their harps." Imagine standing in heaven, surrounded by a sound so powerful, so majestic, that it feels like the very heartbeat of creation. It's not just noise. It's beauty. It's harmony. It's a sound that fills every corner of your soul with joy and peace. But here's what's truly incredible. The language of heaven may not always be words. In heaven, communication will transcend speech. It will include music, laughter, expression. Every sound will carry meaning, and every meaning will point back to God. Imagine hearing a song sung by angels, a melody so pure it feels like it's pulling you closer to the throne of God. Imagine laughing with a friend, and that laughter carrying more love and understanding than any words ever could. This is the sound of heaven's language. It's a language that speaks to the heart, the soul, and the spirit all at once. And the best part? You'll never grow tired of it. But what about the practical side of communication in heaven? How will children, elders, and even angels communicate with us? Let's find out. Have you ever wondered what it will be like to talk to children in heaven? Or to elders who lived centuries before you? And what about angels? How will they speak to us? Let's start with children. In heaven, children will be filled with the same joy, wisdom, and understanding as everyone else. They may retain their childlike wonder, but their communication will be perfect. Imagine hearing a child's voice, bright, clear, full of laughter, and instantly understanding the depths of their soul. Now think about elders. You might meet someone who lived 1,000 years ago, someone who spoke a language that hasn't been heard on earth for centuries. But in heaven, there's no barrier. You'll be able to connect with them instantly, understanding not just their words, but their heart. And then there are the angels. Angels are often described as God's messengers, bringing His words to humanity. But in heaven, they won't just be messengers. They'll be companions, worshipers, and even friends. Imagine standing before an angel, hearing their voice strong, majestic, full of glory, and feeling completely at peace. In heaven, every conversation, every interaction will be a reflection of God's love. No misunderstandings, no tension, only perfect unity. And this brings us to one of the most comforting truths about heaven's language, the way it will reunite us with our loved ones. If you've ever lost a loved one, you've probably wondered, will I understand them in heaven? Will we be able to talk, laugh, and share memories like we did on earth? The answer is yes. In heaven, you will be reunited with your loved ones. And when you see them, there will be no barriers, no language differences, no misunderstandings, no distance. Imagine standing face to face with someone you've missed for years. Maybe they spoke a different language. Maybe they lived in a different culture or time period. But in that moment, none of it will matter. You'll know them, and they'll know you. You'll hear their voice, not just with your ears, but with your heart. And here's what's even more beautiful. Your communication won't just pick up where it left off. It will be deeper, richer, and more meaningful than ever before. Every word, every laugh, every moment will be filled with the joy of heaven. And here's the best part. This connection will never end. On earth, conversations are fleeting, but in heaven, your relationships will last forever. And all of it, every word, every thought, every connection will flow from the perfect language of heaven. So, what have we discovered about heaven's language? It's not bound by words. It's not limited by culture, time, or space. It's a language of perfect understanding, perfect unity, and perfect love. It's the language of angels, the language of worship, the language of God Himself. And here's the incredible truth. This is your future if you belong to Christ. In heaven, there will be no barriers, no miscommunication, no loneliness, only connection, only joy, only love. So let me ask you, which part of heaven's language excites you most? Is it the thought-to-thought communication, the sound of angelic worship, the promise of being reunited with loved ones? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if this video has touched your heart, don't keep it to yourself. Subscribe to the Secrets of Heaven channel. By subscribing, you'll join a community of believers who are exploring the mysteries of God's Word and preparing for the eternal joy that awaits us all. Click the like button if this video gave you hope, and share it with someone who needs to hear about the beauty of heaven's language. Thank you for joining me on this journey. And remember, heaven isn't just a dream. It's your destiny.